I had the opportunity of listening to the press conference, though briefly, not the entirety of it.
Okay.
And I think what she has already said, we have extensively discussed it.
Right.
There were a number of criticisms to that we've heard. You can see some of the response from the government minister, as well as some lawyer like, I think Tiger, sorry, I've heard some...
But you're sorry.
Yeah, I've heard some preliminary comments from him. So let me deal with... So there are some people who says that the whole press conference was inappropriate because Article 146 insists that the proceedings must be in camera. In other words, it's not open to the general public. It's true that Article 146 says so, that proceedings must be held in camera. Why was, let's ask ourselves, why is Article 146 insisted that the proceedings must be held in camera? For me, I believe it was meant to protect the office of the Chief Justice. Even though the Chief Justice said it is her right, and that she was more or less trying to do away with that right so that the proceedings can be held open, so that the general public can have it. I don't agree with her in that respect. I don't think it was a right. Over there, it was there as a protective mechanism.
Okay.
But the question we need to ask ourselves is, the purpose of which it was put, has it served that purpose? And the answer is no. And whose fault it is? Because the essence of protecting the judiciary, why that provision was put, was defeated. And the fault is down to the president and his surrogates. The petition itself, everything the Chief Justice was saying in the press conference, they are not new. They are not new. We got to know them through the president's surrogates. A good example is that gentleman, the dollar man, Sami Gemfi. I saw him in, what did they call him, in Samson Ladi's show. That was my first time of hearing the content of the petition.
Okay.
And where is Sami Gemfi likely to get this petition? It's from the presidency.
Okay.
He's said to be the darling boy of the president. So if he's able to tell us the content of this petition, so why would people then condemn her? So more or less, the case is already known by the general public. And among them contain several misrepresentations. And if those misrepresentations are already in the public domain, and then she also realized that the committee that has been set up to deal with this matter, she believed her rights as an individual and as a Chief Justice has been infringed by those particular committee. I'll come to discuss those particular things. So for me, the purpose of which this provision was put has been defeated, and the only thing left is a liberty of the individual, which is the Chief Justice is safeguard. Because again, when you are having this committee of this nature, we always have to have in mind the individual at Chapter 5 rights. Those fundamental rights within Chapter 5 need to be respected. So if we no longer have a purpose for this Article 146 because it has been defeated, it is within her right to come out to say that even the petition has already been known by the public, but these are some of the things I'm fighting for. So I think what she's doing is not contrary to Article 146.
Right.
Article 146 has already been defeated. And those defeated, the blame, as I say, lies with the presidency. So I don't think she's doing something wrong. She's coming to clear the air of what is already in the public domain. Most of it is untrue. And the public are now judged. So if it was completely, what they call it, if we didn't know anything of it, then it would have been inappropriate for her to come out in her press conference. But then, as I said, we know what is in the petition already. So I don't think it's inappropriate. That's what I would say first of all. Okay, so she has made several, I don't want to call them allegations, several assertions that about the nature of the inquiry. The first thing I would like to address is the venue chosen. You could say that they chose Castle as where it's supposed to be held. And one point she made is that she had a family member who was abducted. And she was actually present when the family member is abducted.
That's her uncle.
Yes. And the way she described it, it seems she had a trauma. And any reasonable person will have a trauma if you are able to witness that thing. And if your uncle is abducted, and who happened to be a member of the judiciary, and there's an inquiry to be held about you, and the people who are doing it chose the same place as a venue, any right-thinking member of the public will say that, look at the Republic of Ghana. How many square miles do we have? It could have been held anywhere. Is there a cynicism to it? Why was that venue chosen? When she could point to the fact that I have a childhood trauma. This serious event happened here. So, I mean, I don't know whether they know it deliberately, but it was a high-profile event. One can easily suggest that it was chosen with a purpose in mind. She said it was chosen to intimidate her. And I would probably agree with her because, for example, if the panel member didn't even know, and she now brought it up that venue is not appropriate because this is my experience, what stopped them from changing the place? What stops them from changing the place? So I believe she has a point when it comes to the choice of venue. Again, she has made complaints about the kind of search that is being conducted. This is our Chief Justice. Are they scared that she might be coming there with a loaded gun? What is really the problem? The dignity of the Chief Justice, that she has to be searched each time she's going for a hearing. I mean, you just see it's inappropriate. For God's sake, she is one of the head of one of the branches of government. Why that particular search? If she finds the need to point it out, let's objectively look at it and see whether she has a point or not. Would the Speaker of Parliament, for example, take it if she's going to a venue and she has to be searched? Would the President agree to search if he's entering a venue? What happened to some of the courtesies that we need to extend to head of these branches? So the search area is another area that she have a lot of concerns. And she also complained of breach of natural justice. She doesn't even have the opportunity to confront her accusers. And this is a clearly breach of natural justice. Some lawyers have suggested that Article 146 have not prescribed a procedure. So any procedure adopted is okay. I disagree with them. Yes. Even if it has not prescribed procedure, when conducting hearing, you need to make sure that the hearing is fair and procedure that you adopted, the discretion you use must not be affected. It must be controlled. So you cannot just adopt any procedure that all you want. And the rules of natural justice always require that you should be able to confront your accusers. You should be able to. And I don't want to take you outside the jurisdiction. There were serious cases in the UK whereby they were getting low conviction rate for rape cases. And they made some number of changes to achieve higher convictions. Among the changes that they made was that you didn't have the opportunity to confront your accusers. The case went all the way to the Strasbourg Human Rights Court. And they said that is wrong. Human rights law requires that you should be able to confront your accuser. Why is she not given the opportunity to be able to confront her accusers? So I believe she's right. The rules of natural justice have been breached in this particular regards. And then she spoke about the traveling expenses that she's alleged to have taken. And among the traveling expenses, she said when she returned from such travel, she even gave a refund. I think it was something like accountably impressed.
Yes.
When she returned, she made a refund. And as she said, how do you expect the Chief Justice, a female, to go on a holiday with her police guy instead of a family member. Does that sound reasonable to us? So I am surprised things of this nature was able to pass through the prima facie stage. Another area, I think she has been alleged to have breached a judicial function when there was an accused who was arrested, and later the accused said it wasn't captured in the proceedings and other areas. And Felix had the audacity to say that somebody should point to a constitutional provision that has been breached during this particular case. Look at Article 127, for example, of the 1992 Constitution. I'll take you to subclause 3. A justice of the Superior Court or any person exercising judicial power shall not be liable in any action or suit for any act or omission by him in the exercise of the judicial power. So this is a complete immunity for me. If she sees on a case, and in this particular instance, some of the cases was won by some of the guys making the allegations.
Okay.
Why should she be questioned for performing a judicial function when the Constitution is very clear? Article 127 is very clear that you would not be no action. It made it very clear. Proceedings of this nature is an action. It shouldn't be able. So this is a complete immunity she's enjoying over there. As far as those aspects of the allegations is concerned about the exercise of a judicial function. So that's immunity. So this is a constitutional breach. So this aspect, at least this aspect of the case she has been asked to answer, should not even appear. And they shouldn't have passed through the prima facie side. If you refer to Article 127, you just know that for that aspect she has immunity, and therefore it should not pass through the prima facie stage.
Okay.
Having said all these things, she was able to input a motive. And every reasonable person can input a motive. The Irish have a saying that even a dog knows the difference between being kicked and being tripped upon.
Okay.
This, everything, if you look at the totality of it, is cooked up to remove it.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
It's just a matter of give dog a bad name and hang it.
Okay.